Okay, my name is Nick Morgan. I am the program leader for model design. When coming to interview for the model design program, we would expect a portfolio that contained at least some 3D making. We would also want to see evidence of a design process well demonstrated using drawings, using sketching. And where possible, we would rather you brought photographs of your work than actually bringing physical objects of work to the interview. To discuss the specific pathways, we'll go through them one at a time. For the model effects pathway, we would expect you to have an interest in scale miniatures, scale models, product design, architecture, but also in film miniatures, perhaps for stop frame animations, perhaps for live action films. For the character and creative effects pathway, we would expect you to demonstrate some life drawing skills, some life sculpting, but general kind of clay sculpting. If you have some experience with using plaster and possibly even moulding materials, then that would also be an advantage. On the special effects pathway, we would expect you to have an interest in how things work, to have some mechanical interest, to have an interest and motivation in programming, very basic programming, electronics, and that kind of thing. We'd also expect those students to have an interest in product design and some forms of particularly hard model making. One thing to stress is that we are not a makeup course. We are also not a prosthetics course. So anything that is to do with perhaps doing makeup and that kind of thing, that wouldn't enhance your portfolio at all. When you're at interview, you will more than likely be asked about the most recent films that you've seen, the most recent exhibitions that you've been to see, and which museums you're interested in. And you need to be clear about why you're interested in those things. If you're watching a DVD, do you watch the making of the film? If you're watching stuff on YouTube or whatever, do you try and figure out how people have done this, how these effects are done? An interest in that is a crucial element to the course. We also want you to have a background interest in design and in painting and in sculpture. All of these feed into the influences and the research material that you'll probably be expected to demonstrate even at interview. When you arrive at interview, you're obviously going to make a first impression. If you're dressed reasonably smartly, if you arrive with a well-prepared portfolio, and also if you've prepared yourself to answer any questions about design, film, exhibitions, museums, and that kind of thing. You will be taken on a tour, and while you're on tour, we will actually look at your portfolios. All three members of staff will look at your portfolios. When we actually come to sit down and talk to you individually, we may well ask you questions about particular projects that we might have made notes on, and you need to be prepared to discuss that project work.